Hello, my dear friend. I am so glad you decided to spend these moments with me today. Before we begin, I want you to do something very simple for yourself. Take a deep breath. Feel the cool air entering your nostrils, traveling down into your lungs, and giving life to your blood. Now, let it out slowly. Feel the tension leaving your shoulders. I want you to get comfortable. Lean back in your chair, or perhaps lie down. Let the world outside, with all its noise, its traffic, and its endless hurry, fade away into the background. Here, in this space, there is no rush. There is only the story. Today, we are going on a journey. It is a long, beautiful journey that stretches back thousands of years across every continent on our Earth. We are going to explore a miracle. But it is not a miracle of magic or sorcery. It is the miracle of the human mind and the incredible strength of the human heart. We are going to talk about the history of medicine. Think for a moment about the things you have in your home right now. Perhaps there is a small plastic bottle of aspirin in your cabinet, or a tiny, sterile band-aid you put on a cut. To us, these are ordinary, everyday things. We buy them at a shop for a few coins and we do not think twice about them. But if we could travel back in time, even just a few centuries, these simple objects would seem like powerful artifacts from the heavens. To our ancestors, a simple pill that could stop a fever would be worth more than a mountain of gold. For thousands upon thousands of years, humans lived in a world of shadows. When someone became ill, it was a terrifying and silent mystery. Imagine living in a time when a simple cough was a reason to be afraid. People looked at the world around them and tried to find answers. They thought the stars were moving in an angry way, or that the invisible spirits of the wind were unhappy. Because they did not understand the why, they lived in fear. They tried everything to feel better. They used strange oils made from rare, crushed flowers. They whispered long prayers to the moon and the sun. Sometimes, because they did not understand how the body worked, they did things that made the sickness even worse. They believed that if they were sick, the badness had to be let out of the body. It was a time of great struggle and very little hope. But then, very slowly, like the sun rising over a dark forest, the light of knowledge began to turn on. In ancient times, in the great civilizations of Greece, Egypt, and the Indus Valley, a few brave thinkers began to watch the body carefully. They stopped looking at the stars for answers and started looking at the patient. They began to realize that the body was not a magical vessel, but a beautiful and complex machine. They noticed that certain herbs helped the heart beat with more strength. They noticed that clean, flowing water and fresh air helped the skin stay healthy and bright. These early doctors began to write down what they saw. They were creating the first instruction manuals for human health. But for a very long time, there was a wall. A great, invisible wall that we could not see past. We knew the body was sick, but we did not know the secret cause. We did not know about the world that was too small to see. The real change in our story happened when we started looking closer. Much closer than any human I had ever dared to look. Imagine being a scientist in the 1700s. Imagine holding a piece of curved glass, the very first microscope. Imagine looking at a single, clear drop of water and suddenly seeing a tiny, secret world moving inside it. For the first time in history, we realized that we were never truly alone. We found germs, the invisible travelers that cause so much of our pain. This discovery was like finding the key to a door that had been locked for 10,000 years. Once we knew who the enemy was, we started to fight back with logic and science. We learned that simple heat could kill these tiny monsters. We learned that washing our hands with soap was more powerful than any ancient spell or magic potion. This was the birth of the modern hospital, a place of cleanliness and light. Think of the bravery of the first doctors who dared to study the human body from the inside. At a time when many were afraid of the dead, these researchers wanted to see the truth. They wanted to understand exactly how the heart beats like a drum, how the lungs expand like a sail in the wind, and how the blood flows through our veins like a life-giving river. They were like explorers mapping a new, wild continent, but that continent was ourselves. As the years moved into the 1800s and 1900s, the pace of discovery began to move faster. Then came the beautiful accidents that saved the world. There is a famous story of a scientist named Alexander Fleming. He was a man who worked in a messy laboratory. One day, he left a small dish of bacteria open while he went away on a holiday. When he returned, he saw that a bit of green mold had grown in the dish. Most people would have thrown it away. But he was curious. He noticed that the bacteria near the mold had completely vanished. The mold was fighting the disease. From that tiny, messy accident, we got penicillin. We got the first real weapon to stop infections that had killed millions of people. It was a miracle found in a piece of bread mold. Around the same time, we found a way to use light to see through our very skin. Imagine the wonder and the shock of the first person to see a photograph of their own skeleton while they were still alive. We called it the X-ray. Suddenly, we could see a broken bone or a hidden sickness without using a knife. The body was no longer a dark box, it was becoming transparent. But this story is not just about science, chemicals, and glass tubes. It is a story of love. It is about a father walking for miles in the rain to find a doctor for his daughter. It is about a mother staying awake for 3 days and 3 nights, cooling her child's forehead with a damp cloth. It is about the deep, universal human desire to survive, to heal, and to protect the ones we love. Every medicine we have today is the result of thousands of years of people refusing to give up. It is the result of scientists who failed 1,000 times before they succeeded once. Today, we live in an age that our ancestors could not even imagine in their wildest dreams. We have machines that can perform surgery with the precision of a butterfly's wing. We have medicines that can find a virus and stop it before it even begins to grow. We are even learning how to read the code of our life, our DNA, to fix problems before we are even born. But as we look at these high-tech hospitals and glowing computer screens, we must remember that the most powerful tool we have is still the same one we had in the ancient caves: curiosity. It is the courage to ask why, and the patience to wait and look for the true answer. As you sit here listening to me, learning these English words and following the rhythm of my voice, I want you to remember that you are also an explorer. You are mapping the world of a new language. You are building a bridge between your mind and the minds of millions of other people across the globe. Every new word you understand is a victory. Every sentence you follow is a sign of your growth. Language, like medicine, is a way to heal the distance between us. It is a way to share our stories and our hopes. I am so incredibly proud of the progress you are making. Do not worry if you do not understand every word perfectly yet. Just listen. Let the sounds wash over you. Let the story nourish your soul as much as it nourishes your mind. You are part of a community now, a community of people who believe in the power of learning and the beauty of a story told slowly. Thank you for being part of Whispering English. You are the reason I tell these stories. Before I leave you today, I want to ask you something. I want to hear your voice. Tell me in the comments below, what is one thing that makes you feel healthy and happy? Is it the smell of the rain on the earth? Is it a warm cup of tea in the evening? Or perhaps it is a kind word from a friend when you are feeling tired? I look forward to reading your thoughts. They mean a lot to me. Until we meet again for our next journey through time and language, keep your heart open, take care of your beautiful mind, and above all, stay curious. May you have a peaceful day and a restful night. Goodbye for now, my friend.